Hi, I'm Sam, and this is Rev.
And welcome to Yacht To Do. We are going around America's Great Loop aboard the Here's To Us.
Today, we're going to take you from our anchorage at Buckhead Creek Tap all the way up to Savannah Bend Marina, where we're going to park the boat and fly home to Dallas and
sell our house.
All right, we'll tell you all about it.
We're at this anchorage, Buckhead Creek, because we got caught in a storm yesterday, and we went down a little further to get closer to Savannah. But it was a really nice anchorage.
Yeah, it was. And,
I liked it because we were the only ones in it.
Yeah, and I'm glad we did because it gave us a little bit more time to get to Savannah and get to the airport to catch our plane. It was a kind of a cloudy day, a little bit more residual from the storms that had passed, but overall, just a kind of a pleasant ride. I did a lot of planning to make sure that, hey, we were going to, be out of some treacherous areas.
And you can see that there's nobody out there. There's no traffic. We did run into a couple fishermen.
We are underway from our anchorage at Buckhead Creek Tap, where we spent the night after we had gone through a thunderstorm and sat through it at another anchorage, moved on to that. So now we're proceeding towards Savannah, and it's coming up on, it is technically a rising tide. I would have liked to have a little bit more water, but we're going to go through an area called Hell's Gate, and it has been dredged, and the report is the lowest was, mean low water was 9.8. And we have been seeing that our depth sounder is showing a little bit more water than normal, maybe because of all the rains, I don't know. So we're going to go through it, and you'll see up here we'll be making a turn to the port. And you can start to see some of the markers out there. There's a red marker out that way. We'll be leaving that to our port. Also, on this plotter here, the Navionics on our Verizon phone, we have the backup route on there. That is a Bob 423 track that we have studied, and so we're just going to go through it gingerly here. We're doing about 7.5, and I'm going to bring it back even a little bit more as we get through that area. We have our depth alarm set to 9 feet so that at least if it does go off, we'll be watching it. And I've got depth here, and I've got depth over here. So we are ready for this. Once we get through that, we're going to push it up a little bit and make Savannah around probably 11:30 or so. So we are right on the track going through this particular area on the intracoastal waterway called Hellgate or Hell's Gate. And just following the route and monitoring, there it is, 9.6 is about the lowest we saw. Maybe I saw about 9.5 at some point. But going through here gingerly and looking out and seeing, okay, they've dredged this area, and sure it is true that they did dredge the area. Really not a problem, and we're just past low tide.
No, for the last couple of days, we haven't seen just a handful of homes. Not a lot of traffic, but then we came to this area. We passed that sailboat. We saw some jet skis earlier, and the homes started all on one side of the water's edge there.
Yeah, we're starting to get into the southern part of Savannah, and you can see how people have, lake homes, or maybe they even lived there full time. I don't know. It would be kind of neat to live there full time.
Look at the boats there. There's a little one and a big one right off there.
Right on the intracoastal waterway. So, what a cool place to be there.
During this time, I remember you making a few phone calls.
Yeah, I was checking in with all the harbor hosts, and I just want to say a shout out to all 3 of the harbor hosts at Savannah. Steve, who ended up watching our boat for us, Wes, who, was very helpful, and they had just finished the loop a couple of weeks before.
On Honey Queen,
yeah,
I think that was
right.
called.
And Mike, also, I sent out an email, and they all called me back within 15 minutes, very responsive. So thank you to all those harbor hosts on the Great Loop Cruises Association.
Yeah, we really felt welcome, and we hadn't even gotten to Savannah yet.
Yeah.
So that you can see these homes, they're just incredible. And it kept going like this for miles and miles and miles.
Yeah.
And we started getting a little worried because the dark clouds started rolling in. And
well, the other thing too is, I had planned, doing 9 to 10 miles per hour through here. And, there was a lot of no wake zones. So I was like, okay, are we going to make it to Savannah Bend in time to get kind of packed up and get to the airport? But it's all working out.
Yeah, those clouds hanging out. We did see a bit of traffic in this area. And some of those boats saw us and then were wondering if some didn't.
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of one of those. It was a Saturday, and so people were out, and so you really got to keep your head on a swivel. At about this point here, I was in contact with Steve, who was going to meet us, our harbor host, who was going to meet us at Savannah Bend. He was tracking us on AIS on his boat. He's got a beautiful 42 Grand Banks, and they had done the loop years before. So very experienced, and again, can't say enough about Steve meeting us there and me familiarizing him with the boat, and so that he could watch the boat for us while we were gone.
Yeah, very helpful. Gave us a lot of peace of mind.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So on this this stretch, it's it's cool, and the clouds are giving us fits, and we kept looking at the radar.
It was kind of cool. I mean, it was like it at least gave us a break from the heat, I thought.
Yeah. And a nice breeze. You see those flags going. It's when the flags are straight down that it's kind of painful. But there was this mooring area over to the left before we got to this marina.
Yeah, and this marina was called Isle of Hope Marina, and originally I thought we could leave the boat there. But and they did have space for us, but unfortunately I looked at it, it was 1.5 miles short of the 32 degrees latitude line, which for insurance purposes was kind of a no-no.
And that they would have let us keep the boat there.
Oh yeah, they wanted us to give them some more money and also sign a waiver for wind damage. So I said, you know what, we'll find another place. And again, with the harbor host help and a little bit of resources, we did find a place to stay. So
a few more dark clouds.
Well, getting near the end of our trip to Savannah River Bend Marina, where we will tie up, and unfortunately we're gonna have to leave the Here's to Us and head on home for a bit, take care of some business. We're about 3.7 miles away and starting to pick up a little bit of rain, and here comes a shrimp boat here. We have received our docking instructions, and we're going to be pointed upriver. I'm going to take over manual here. On the autopilot, I just disengaged it by this. I'm steering by heading hold, and now it's raining pretty good, so hopefully that'll clear up in the next 3.5 miles. We'll be able to dock without being in the rain for my lovely first mate. It'll be a starboard side tie, so we will see you the next time at the dock.
So here we are in our slip at the dock. Now Steve came to help us tie up, and Dan was there as well, so we had a chance to meet them.
We quickly got showers, we packed up, and we
headed to the airport.
Yeah, we called for a lift, and we're on our way to the airport within about 1.5 hours of tying up at the dock.
Right.
Well,
unfortunately,
got to the airport and got kicked off the flight. So we end up renting a car because I look at my watch and I go, hey, it's 14 hours and 41 minutes to Dallas, and we can do it. So guess what? In about 3 hours, we get to Atlanta, and everything starts to slow down.
Yeah, we could see for miles in front of us just the brake lights. Well, we found out that there were protesters on the highway.
They shut down the entire highway.
They did.
For miles and miles each way.
Right. And so they ended up burning down a Wendy's right there where we were. We could smell the smoke and everything. And finally, after 3 hours.
3 hours?
Yeah. At 11 p.m., the traffic started to move.
And it's only another 11 hours to drive.
Only another
But the good
11
thing
hours.
is I got a Dodge Charger, and we are westbound and down.
That's right.
4 wheels are rolling. This is our last sunrise at our house in Dallas that was on the lake that we had for 10 years, and it's time to say goodbye to it because we got a full price offer.
Yay!
And these people wanted to get into the house to experience the rest of the summer, and we were ready to say goodbye. We had great friends there, but it's time to move on to the next chapter. Packed up, I think, about 90 boxes of personal items and things that we wanted to keep. We sold the house fully furnished. We probably could have had a truck half that size, but you know, they said, hey, why don't you just take this one? And it was
Plenty
only
of
about
room.
7 miles down the road. Put it in a climate controlled storage and said goodbye to that stuff. So this time back to Savannah we actually bought tickets. Well, we used miles because we didn't want to be kicked off and we needed to get back. And friends Dan and Amy, who we had corresponded with us, picked us up at the airport, and we're so thankful for that. We had to move the boat though, and because Savannah Bend was having a fishing tournament, so we found a space at Thunderbolt Marina. We actually had to backtrack about 1.5 miles, but went back to Thunderbolt Marina. Why? Because, well, they have Krispy Kreme donuts.
Free!
And supposedly they were supposed to be delivered early in the morning, warm. Well, we had to hunt for them, but anyway, we had Krispy Kreme donuts. They were fresh, and we had coffee.
So another highlight of staying at Thunderbolt Marina was that we had an opportunity to meet Jeff and Christine.
Yes, they were corresponding with us as well. And they have a house in Texas, and he's also a pilot. And so we started talking, and he came by in his boat.
And
so
family.
We got to meet Christine and their 2 boys.
Yeah.
So they are looking for a boat and eventually going to do a great loop. So it was great to connect with them.
Also at Thunderbolt, we had the chance to meet Ross and Jane, and they actually drove us around Savannah so we could see the sights. We'd never been here before. Well, Sam has, but only for quick layovers. We really hadn't had a chance to look at anything, and they graciously drove us around so we could take in all the sights.
Yeah, it was awesome to get to see, Savannah, and by car, and people were out, and it was a great time. It was a Sunday. People were having a good time. This church was just amazing, and I don't know, I think you do have a shot of the inside. Felt like we were in Europe
Germany,
somewhere.
yeah.
It was just incredible, the inside of it. Here's the inside.
Beautiful. It's the Cathedral of John the Baptist. And what's special about this church is that Ross's aunt plays the organ here, and he also has a relative that's a priest. So I was just really impressed with that. Right across the street is a beautiful park that just screams Savannah.
Oh my gosh, the moss, the Spanish moss on these trees, all around Savannah. It is just gorgeous.
It is really.
Wish we had more time there.
I do too.
Yeah,
we really could have.
Walking around.
Yeah. So we continued our journey in Savannah. Ross and Jane actually took us out to dinner. That was another highlight.
They were a real fun couple.
Yeah.
We had a great time with them.
So big thank you and shout out to Jane and Ross for a great day.
They're going to be doing the loop.
That's
so
right.
Watch out for them on the loop.
You'll see them out here.
Thanks for coming along on this journey from our anchorage to Savannah, where we got to fly home and then get back to Savannah.
It was a really fun trip and a fun place.
Yeah, it was.
We
fun.
met great people,
and
we saw great sights, so you should go there.
It was really chock full of, and the loop is just more about places and driving the boat around. It is about the people you meet along the way, and the people, particularly for us that we have a YouTube channel, the people that reach out to us. It means a lot to us. Yeah, thank you so much.